Okay, this is a technique I like to use in all my cubes for the dimensions. I don't like to give the users a bunch of, for example, the date dimension. In this example here, as you see on my pivot table, I've given them a dimension, and when they look at it, they have 2005 all the way to 2011 here. But really, the data only spans 2007, 2008, I think it's some of 2009. So if they come over here and say, I want to see 2005 and 2006, okay, it won't bring back any data, right? So it's really not good to have that. You should only have the amount, the earliest date in the where data can consist, and the late and the maximum date where data should consist. Okay, so what I should do then is in my dimension view that I use for my dimension in the cube, I should go ahead and find the min and max values of the in the fact table of the lowest date key and the highest date key, and use those and only present those calendars, that range of dates, to my user in their date dimension. So let's go over and create that view. You can do the same thing with customers or anything you have where you have extra, maybe extra dimension members where you shouldn't be, where there shouldn't be any. I mean, where the data, the fact data doesn't reflect any of that. I mean, unless you need it in there, um, it depends, of course. But in a lot of cases, you don't need it. It's just extra data the user has to go through and see no data for. So anyways, the date dimension, it comes to mind first of all, and I generally will do this and set the view for the min and max date of the date dimension. And in fact, to highlight what I'm talking about here, let me go ahead and put my date column down in, oops, let me put the date column into the rows. Okay, so you're going to see nothing there because it's already filtered. And then I'm going to put in the year column into the filter, just for demonstration purposes, fiscal year. So I'm going to bring that in the filters column. And see, it's set to all, but see there's a filter button. Okay, so now I'm going to reset the filter here. This should present very quickly, and I set it to all. And we're going to see that it comes in or somewhere in 2007, the date start, and it ends, I think, in 2009 somewhere. Right, so here's our data. So you see it starts in 2007, it ends in 2009. So what we're looking for, if I expand the 2007, so I'm going to be looking at January, probably January 1st or 2nd. So it's January 1st, 2007 on the lowest end. On the high end, we're looking for, okay, it looks like it's all the way through December to the end of December. Okay, so it's the end of December 2009, the beginning of January 2007. So that's the span I really want. So when I come into a filter like this, I don't want to see all these extra years in there. I just want to see the data that I have that's present in with the amounts in it. So I'm going to go back to the view and change that. Okay. Okay, the first thing I wanted to do was look at this fact table and take a look at the properties and just get a quick look at what the storage, how many rows there are. Looks like there's about 231 million rows. Okay, pretty good size table. And in here I have a column, one of my foreign keys, which is the date key, and I have a index on it, right? No big deal. With one included file, no big deal. We get some very quick results there. Okay, so that's very good. All right, so we know that we can use this element here to get our get a fast response. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and utilize that inside of our view, and I go to my view for that dimension. So here, as you see, I'm getting all the data just like before. I'm just going to grab that from vdim date, or I'll keep it from dim date. And what I'm going to do is put a CTE at the top of it. So I'll say CTE temp as, and I'll say select min. So I set the CTE. I'll call it CTE min max date. Min max date. Okay, and then down in here, so what I'm going to do is just do something that's probably not the most performant code, but since it's a lot easier just to do it this way. And again, since it's not going to make any much difference, since it's a small table, where I'm just going to say where date key is between, and I'm just going to say select min date from CTE min max date, and select. I'll just copy this one over here. And we'll just call that max date. And that way, when it is run, it's going to give us the right solution. Okay, so I think that's right. Don't have to do any extra aliases. It should be pretty simple there. So I created it. Of course, there's an error. Column date key. Let me see why that's. Oh, I have to do a from, of course. And this from is going to be where I used it before with the from here, from the big fact table. So let's see how that works. So I say from there, from, grab this guy. This is what we've got to run it against. And we're going to just go ahead and order it by date key. So we can just see that it's going to give us only the 3-day years this time, which is going to be a lot better when we run this. So it starts at 2007 like we wanted, and it's going to end at 2009, 12, 31 like we wanted. Okay, so we're good to go there. So all I have to do is add this to my Visual Studio project with the cube, and then our dim date next time it comes in will be appropriate. So let me just do that and build the cube, and I'll be right back. You know, right now it was set to where it was before, where when we go to browser, you'll see date, and you'll see all those dates all the way from 2005 all the way to 2011, which I don't want. This should only be 2007 to 2009 with the new view. So what I'm going to do is process that. Shouldn't take long at all. Yes, and just do a quick process here. Deployed it to the cube area, to the database on the analysis services server. I'll do a full, even though I don't think I have to do a full. I can just do a data update. In fact, I should have done a data update. Now I got to rebuild the whole cube because I did a full data update. Since I really didn't change the structure, I was just changing the data. I could have done a data update, and then I wouldn't have to rebuild everything. So it did a full build. So that means I'm going to have to rebuild everything, the whole cube over. That's okay. I'm not gonna. You guys won't see that. You'll just see the end of it, end result. But anyways, when I come back in here, well, here's my dimension structure. When I come back into the browser here to look at my dimension, I'm just going to reconnect this button here, and now it's on the date. So when I come in here, you're just going to see 2007, 2008, 2009, exactly the way we want it. So we're only seeing the stuff we're going to use, no fluff. Okay, so that's good. So let me, if we go back to date key, I'm sure date key is in here. Date key, right? Again, you see only 2007 onward to, if it shows all the way down, well, it doesn't go all the way, it goes to 9, but it goes to 12. So we're good to go. So I'm gonna rebuild this cube. We'll look at it in Excel, and that's what you'll do. So basically, I do this on all my cubes, or try to, because yeah, it takes a little more coding, but it sure does is less frustrating for the user when to see all those extra attribute names when they're not even used. So you can do this in other parts of your products. Might be a good one to do it on. So you might have 6,000 products, but you don't use them anymore. They were back 10 years ago, and your cube only goes for the last 3 years. So a bunch of those products you shouldn't have to display them to the users and make them suffer through looking at them. So you really just want to show them the products that are in play. All right, and same thing goes with customers and maybe some other dimensions also. Okay, I rebuilt the cube with the new view that's the data coming from, and we'll go back to our Excel spreadsheet and we'll take a look and see if it worked, which I'm pretty certain it did. So we'll come back over here and we'll say let's look at what it was before, and it listed all the dates and everything else under them, even though there wasn't any data in many of these. So now let's go ahead and see what happens when we refresh it. Refresh all. Refresh all here, and we go to check out our fiscal year to see if it's changed, and it should be now just 3 years instead of like 7 years. So I come in here and I say all, and here we are. We're only showing the 3 years that we have data for, and it's a lot more concise for the user, so the user doesn't see a bunch of years that there's no data existing for. Okay, thank you very much.